Hello everyone, we have a rook versus bishop endgame with white to play and win. It's white's move. Now here, white is just one step away from queening, but it's not that simple. If white queens, black is going to play rook b8 and white cannot capture. If you capture, then it's a draw because the bishop is holding the a2 square and the queen protects the bishop and there is no move that black can make. It's a stalemate. So that's the problem here. It's white to move and he can queen, but he cannot because of the stalemate option that black has. And as long as this bishop is holding this a2 square, that stalemate option is always there. And if white makes a random move, then black will is happy to give up his rook for this pawn and secure the draw. Black cannot win this. Even if this pawn is not there, this bishop is I think sufficient to hold a draw. Maybe not, but and white will not of course give up this for nothing. He will try to hold this, and even if black is capturing this bishop, this pawn is sufficient to secure the draw for white. So white is not afraid of losing this game. White wants to convert it to a win, and black wants to convert it to a draw. That's what the objectives of each side is. So here it is white to move. Now we first of all we cannot move the pawn. If we promote rook b8, let's say we promote, then it's rook b8, and that's it. If you capture, it's a draw. If you don't capture, then he's going to capture your queen. So pawn move is not possible. King move is also not possible. If you play king d7, he's going to play rook b7, and next move he's going to capture the pawn. Any other king move is met by rook f7, and if you play king f8, then he's going to play rook b8 check. You still can't capture because of stalemate. Now if you come here, he's going to come here. Okay, his only objective is to get rid of the pawn. So king move is not possible, pawn move is not possible, so only move possible is bishop. Okay, now this c4 is a critical square. Black wants to play his rook to c4 and go behind the passed pawn. That's the usual rule. Whenever you have a passed pawn, put the rook behind the passed pawn. That's the principle. Now here we can prevent this by bishop d3, but what happens if we play bishop d3? If we play bishop d3, he's going to come from this side, rook h4. Okay, and then we cannot queen because of the skewer. And if we play king d7, he's going to play rook h8, and then we can never queen. Of course we can queen, but we lose the queen. He's going to give up his rook. So let's say bishop d3, he's going to play rook h4. And now what do? King d7, the bishop is holding the g7 square, h7 square, but he doesn't care. He's just go here. And now it doesn't matter what you do. Let's say you want to play bishop g6 to bishop e8. When you play bishop g6, he'll come here. And then what do you do now? His next move is rook a7. That's what he's going to do next. Okay, so, and pin your pawn. And if you come here, to not allow the pin, he's going to play this. Okay, and you can't go there. So yeah, there is nothing that you can do. So bishop d3 is not working. Bishop d3 is not working, and you have to prevent rook c4. So your only option is bishop a7. That's the only option. So after we play bishop a7, what is he going to do? There is no longer rook b8 because now we can capture, and there is no stalemate because the king has the a2 square. So after bishop a2, rook b8 is not possible because we will simply take the rook, and he has to take my bishop, and we will win. So after bishop e2, that bishop is untouchable because we are queening. He cannot take my bishop. He cannot give rook b8. So he's going to play rook h4. So after bishop a2, rook h4, I have bishop g8. Okay, bishop g8 to prevent rook h8. So bishop a2 is the only move white has to prevent rook c4. Then he's going to play rook h4. Okay, can I play bishop c2? I can't because rook c4. The pawn is gone. Any other move, let's say like this, is responded by rook c4, right? So the bishop has to hold this c4 square. That's a given. So the only move is either bishop d3 and bishop a7, a2. That's the only two moves that we got. Bishop d3 is not working because of this variation. Bishop d3, rook h4. Can I play king f7? Rook h4. If I play king d7, he's going to go rook h8. If I play king d7, then he's still going to go rook h8, and now I cannot win. So that's not, we cannot allow rook h8. We cannot allow rook h8. That's why we have to play bishop a2 so that we can cover this through g8. So now black has the only move rook h4. There is no other move. He cannot capture my bishop because I am queening, and he cannot play rook b8 because now I am going to capture the rook and there is no stalemate. So rook h4 is the only move, and now I have the only move bishop g8. Now what will he do? There is no rook h8 because I will play king f8 and then I'm going to queen this. So rook h8 is, he's going to come back here, because as long as this bishop is on any square other than a2 and covering a2, there is always this rook b8 stalemate trick. So he's going to come back. Rook b4, and now what do I do? This bishop is my problem, and if this bishop is not there, he always has rook h4 and then rook h8. Okay. If this bishop was not there, I am just queening and winning. But because this bishop is holding this square, I cannot queen just yet. So now after rook b4, I cannot play king d7 because of rook b7. Can I play bishop b3? What this does is this gives this b2 square for the king. Now my threat is queen, and there is no rook b8 because I'm going to capture this, and this b2 square is available for the king. Yeah, so bishop d3 is working, and if you capture, I don't mind, and I will give a million checks and I'll somehow pick up this rook somehow. And if you don't capture, let's say you play this, then fine, then I'm going to take this thing, and you have this b2 square now, right? So bishop b3 looks good. After this rook b4, bishop b3 looks good, but we have a better move, which is bishop d5. The idea is we want this bishop to come to the c6 square. This is the ideal square for the bishop, because this, from the c6 square, the bishop shields the pawn from attacks along the c file, and from bishop e8, one day the bishop wants to come to e8 to block checks from this side. Okay, so the bishop wants to come to c6 so that it can go to e8 and block checks when the rook arrives on h4. That's what the bishop wants to do. So this is the square, and the bishop has to also vacate the a2 square to get rid of that stalemate trick. That's the whole point. The bishop has to leave this diagonal. As long as the bishop is in this diagonal, there is always rook b8. So the bishop cannot stay in this diagonal, and white cannot make progress with this bishop staying in this diagonal. And the bishop also has this responsibility of preventing lateral checks. So for that reason, the bishop has to come to c6, the king has to come to d8, and the bishop will go to e8. But after bishop d5, what can black do? Okay, so if you play a waiting move like this, he's going to come here, and if you promote, then he's going to play this. That's what he wants to do. Okay, so that's not good. So there is no waiting move as such, and if you play a waiting move, he can even play, I think, rook b5. Now if you promote rook b8, if you don't promote, if you play another bad move, then I'm simply going to play rook c5. Now you cannot escape the draw. So there are two threats here. After bishop a2, rook h4, bishop g8, rook b4, there are two threats. Rook b8 stalemate threat and rook b5 c5 and capturing the pawn. So white does not have enough time to do whatever he wants. He has to act quickly. So bishop b3 is one idea. Bishop d5 is another idea. Bishop d5. Now if you play rook b5, then I am going to play bishop c6. And after rook b5, bishop c6, rook h5, I am going to play king d8, and on rook h8 I have bishop e8. Let's see that. Now white is winning. If you play this, I don't care. I'm just going to queen. So that's why this bishop needs to be here, so that the black rook cannot capture the pawn. And if you don't play that, after bishop c6, if you go here, I'm going to play here. Now you're gone. You're lost completely. Now there is nothing that black can do to prevent this. But he doesn't have to play rook b5. After bishop d5, he can play, I think he can play rook b2. After bishop d5, he can play rook b2. Now what? Now what do we do? If you play king d7, rook c2, bishop c6. Right. So rook c2. So white to play king d7. Then again he has this rook b8. Oh, so that's not working. So king d7 is not. So after bishop d5, rook b2, king d7, he again has rook b8. So what happens? Let's see. King d7, rook b8. Now what will you do? You cannot capture, and then of course you can capture and take a bishop. That is possible. Now it's not a stalemate. You have the b2, the other squares, and you have to checkmate with two bishops, which is doable but difficult if you don't know the technique. So now let's try to see. You can't take a rook. If you take a rook, it's again a stalemate. So you have to take a bishop, and you can take a knight as well, but that's even difficult to checkmate with a bishop and a knight. So this is, so after this, let's go back. Bishop a2, rook h4, bishop g8, rook b4, bishop d5. Now he doesn't have to play rook b5. If rook b5, bishop c6, we are winning. He doesn't. He can play a waiting move. Now, can we play bishop c6? Then he's going to play rook h2. Okay, then king d8 is, then we are winning, right? Bishop e8, and yeah, this is winning, correct. So the technique is, if he plays a waiting move, we are still going to go to c6. No king moves. The moment you make a king move, you are actually helping him with rook b8. Of course, you can take a bishop, but then it's going to be difficult. Yeah. So here if he plays a waiting move, we still go to bishop c6. Okay, let's see other options. Rook b5, bishop c6. Can he play rook b6 to prevent bishop c6? Then we are going to play king d7. And then again he will play rook b8. Yeah, so this rook b8 is a very annoying option. Again, we have to take the bishop. I just want to prevent that. So bishop d5. He can play rook b8 here itself. There is no way I can stop that thing. And I have to settle with the bishop. If I don't settle with the bishop, if I don't take it, he's going to go here. And he's going to dance between a8 and h8, and there is no way I can promote it. Okay, let's see again. Bishop a2, rook h4, bishop g8, rook b4. What about bishop b3? On bishop b3, he doesn't have rook a. Yeah, bishop b3 looks appealing. Then he'll play rook h4. Okay, rook h4. Now his idea, we cannot allow this rook h4. Rook h8 check we cannot allow, because then he will go to rook a8 and he will dance between a8 and h8. So again we have to go back. Okay. And then he will again come back. Okay, so that's the problem with bishop b3. He will not capture your bishop. He will simply go back to h4. That is the problem with bishop b3. And if you go to king f8, then okay, king f8. Right, so this is working. King f8. Now you no longer have rook h8 because of bishop g8, and you no longer have rook c4. But you have rook this. Now you play king e7. And now, yeah, the bishop b3 is giving the king this b2 square. Now what do we do? This is made by bishop e6. And this bishop is still holding the square. And now this is winning. Right. So bishop e3 and bishop d5 both are winning. Right. So bishop this, rook b4. And bishop b3 is also winning. So bishop b3 or bishop d5. Bishop b3 with the idea of giving the king the square, and bishop d5 with the idea that we want to come to c6. And if he plays rook b1, we ignored him and we play bishop c6. Oh, we are in check. We have to take the bishop. We have to take the bishop now. Okay, there is no other way. So that is one. So in order to prevent that line, you have to come to bishop b3. Bishop b3, but then you're risking rook versus queen, where sometimes they can draw. That risk is there. If you don't want to take that risk, then bishop d5 and rook b8, you have to settle with the bishop. You have to settle with the bishop. This is what you have to settle with. But if you want to risk that, if you're okay to give up the bishop for the queen, let's say he takes this, and then he plays king b2, then it would be a hard fought win. The rook will not allow the king to come. But it is still winning, but it will require a lot of effort. So yeah, so that's the technique. Bishop a2, rook h4, bishop g8 to prevent this check. Now he will come back to rook b4, and now we play bishop d5 or bishop b3. Bishop d5 with the idea of going to c6 and blocking the check on e8 and also shielding the pawn, and bishop b3 with the idea of giving this king this square so that the rook b8 stalemate idea is eliminated. I would myself prefer this approach. Bishop d5, rook b5, I have bishop c6. So let's say he plays something. Let's say he plays rook b8. Rook b8. I don't have king d7 because of rook h8. So I will take the bishop, and then I will try to checkmate with two bishops. Yeah, thank you.